Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We do have live tournament action, show match action coming at you right now. It is going to be on GSL's Calm Before the Storm. It will be a best of 3. Going to be a Zerg versus Protoss here. wtbGTC taking on IcePhyre. Now, GTC is a high-level diamond player. He's got very solid MMR there. Looks like his MMR puts him right around the same level as IcePhyre. IcePhyre, however, is a master-level player. On the southern side of the Masters level bracket there, but he is still a phenomenal player and quite the wild card, might I add. But here in game number 1, kicking it off, these guys will be spawning on the top side of Calm Before the Storm. Looks like IcePhyre is our purple Zerg, kicking it up here in the top right-hand corner. Up in the top left, it is GTC, going for a standard type of wall off. We'll see if he's going to wall this off with a Forge or with a Gateway. My guess is probably Gateway. I think it says he's bad. That's not true. But I like players that are, starting to wall this off, take a fast expansion, but wall it off like it's a normal, just a normal play against Zerg, where you get your Forge, your Gateway followed by your Cyber Core, and then you take your expansion regardless, just like it was a Forge fast expand. So, kind of good stuff. Looks like, aren't you top 3 masters? No, GTC is not quite, but he's definitely got some solid MMR. He's a great player. And that wall off here going okay. Looks like he's a little bit late on his Gateway. So my guess is we're going to see him go for his fast Nexus here in just a moment. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see. We do have IcePhyre going for that early spawning pool. Going to see him probably toss down an expansion in the forward position here. Actually, this position right here, I tend to agree with that. And we'll see how IcePhyre is going to play it, but that tends to be your best bet. Looks like he is not going to do it. He's going to go for this back pocket expansion. And quite frankly, it does make it more difficult to defend. I mean, once they get up into the main here, they can attack at so many different angles here at the main that it just is difficult to defend the main as well as this back pocket expansion at the same time. However, if you take this position here, you put your hatchery there, you can toss down your spine crawlers here in this position, so you can guard your ramp and this expansion all at the same time and also keep people out of your main. That is why I tend to agree with that type of play, but looks like GTC does have his fast Nexus going down, followed very quickly by a Forge, so it is going to be a Forge fast expand here. You see that cannon go down here momentarily, and he should be in pretty decent shape moving forward. There goes your first cannon. Looks like IcePhyre going to be completing this hatchery here in just a few moments. GTC is catching wind of this. Wonder if he's going to try and cannon his opponent here. It's not a bad little idea, actually. Here come your Lings to cruise down here, checking around, making sure there's no shenanigans going on. Always a smart play, good scouting. It looks like GTC will evacuate this probe. Get this guy back to safety, he says. He has done some good scouting. He deserves it. Looks like IcePhyre doing some good scouting of his own right now. Except he is running right over top of a photon cannon. That, I hear tell, is not good for your health. Looks like he's going to die. Wow. Oh, and IcePhyre seems to be a little bit surprised. Everybody else is probably not quite as surprised there, but that's alright. GTC working on that second expansion. He's going to be saturating it here naturally, it appears. No probe transfer quite yet. Still chrono boosting guys out to this mineral line as well. But here come your first Lings. Notice that GTC did wall this off very tight. Not going to get these guys in. That is an absolute sure thing. But can cruise up this ramp momentarily anyway, just to see what's going on. He is going to see that photon cannon there blasting away, as well as the Gateway about to be popping out a Zealot. We do have your Cybernetics Core going back here next to the main in a pretty good time. Looks like that's about to be complete here, so not too far behind there, but obviously that is okay considering the timing of his first Nexus. Now notice that IcePhyre are going to be securing his third, so even though he did take this back pocket expansion first, we're going to see him take this third here fairly quickly so he can set up the appropriate defenses for this entire base at this position. So not a bad little play there. Back for the tech. It is just going to be that metabolic speed boost so far for IcePhyre. And he does have the 1 gas, no longer mining it, however. He is going to be droning up like crazy. So let's check on on that units tab. 28 drones right now, 31 drones now to 37 probes. GTC maintaining a pretty substantial lead there with that chrono boost. Appears to be in pretty good shape. IcePhyre is going to sneak a couple Zealots past these guys. Looks like he's going to go for an attack here. And we may see a forward pylon momentarily as well. Looks like he's a little bit behind. Or it's not quite time, I should say, for that warp gate technology to complete. So he'll give it just a few moments, but looks like we're going to have some serious creep spread from IcePhyre. And a third base about to complete. We do have a queen out on the field. Looks like she's going to go kick it here at the third for just a little while. And still no more gas mining. No gas mining from IcePhyre quite yet. Let's just check back in on that units tab. 36 drones to 40 probes. And IcePhyre is in okay position. But GTC doing a phenomenal job holding his economy down in a very, very big way. Looks like double gas is going down. We'll be choosing some tech here momentarily. Putting down a couple more gateways as well. And he is about to have some serious warp gate action. Looks like that warp gate technology is complete. And your Zealot's just on hold position here. Not super effective, but it's alright. Zealots do go down. Looks like IcePhyre holding on there in pretty decent style. And in production, we do have a whole bunch more drones apparently. Looks like he's still just droning up. Got 2 queens in production right now, so he's kind of massing queens at this point. Going to toss down a Roach Warren here, and looks like some Evo Chamber is going to go down as well. Start to see some upgrades potentially from IcePhyre. Back here at GTC's side of the map, he does have this kind of forward pylon. It's at least mid-map-ish. It's a little closer, but not by much. And these guys aren't going to be able to make it in. We do have this one probe. Probably going to go ahead and toss down an expansion at this position here, but I'm trying to figure out whether GTC is going to get himself out of this base or not. But in the meantime, he is walking forward with a bunch of Zealots. They do have +1 complete here. Should be able to do a decent amount of damage. Probably going to see some solid transfuse from IcePhyre, however. Good transfusing there, keeping these queens in pretty decent style. Looks like one queen going to go down fairly quickly. And 2 and 3, and now number 4 was going to be in a little bit of trouble as well. These guys picking up some serious kills here. Let that Zealot chase this one down. This queen is going to get surrounded here as well. IcePhyre losing a lot of queens. And now still a whole bunch of Zealots out on the field, but here come your roaches. These roaches should be able to clean this up here fairly well. Couple extra drone kills there, not a bad deal. 55 probes to 48 drones right now. And this, wow, this Zealot, he's still laughing away there. Picking up 8 kills total. Not a bad little deal for that guy. Even killing just Zerglings is fairly cost effective in that scenario, but even better, he did pick up some worker kills there. Not a bad little deal. So GTC now currently working on Thermal Lance is going to probably start chrono boosting out some Colossus as well. More gateways going down for him. He is going to be gearing up for probably 3-base play here in just a few moments. I would like to see him take that expansion before the 12-minute mark. Now we do have a little bit of Warp Prism action going down at the back pocket expansion of IcePhyre. Almost getting the snipe on that Warp Prism, but looks like this queen is going to die. Potentially. Maybe not. Not quite, but still all in all a pretty good little attacking here from GTC. He's trying to keep IcePhyre stuck in his base, forcing him to get out military units for defense, and so far so good. It seems to be working in his favor. But still for GTC, I would like to see that expansion. I would like to see him bust down something here at this wall off, maybe that cannon or something, but bust down one of these buildings. They all cost the same, so pick one. Whichever one you need the least, right? And start to move down here, get some mobility between his main and this third base. Looks like some more Zealots here cruising in, and that was a little bit of a Warp Prism play again there. Interesting. That guy picking up a couple workers killed. Keeping IcePhyre on his toes. 56 drones, however, for IcePhyre to 61 probes. GTC needs that third base here, I think. IcePhyre in phenomenal shape here on 3 base, and looks like he's about to have a macro hatch, as well as another hatch here for a 4th. Looking to be in solid shape. He does have that missile attack level 1 on the way, and now cruising out across the field with some Mutalisks. Going to be a nice little unit composition there for him. However, he hasn't been scouting GTC very well here. GTC's really been keeping that pressure on, and IcePhyre doesn't quite know exactly what's going on. Looks like IcePhyre will find this pylon here, but he's going to start moving back, I think, as soon as he sees this movement into his main. Starting to cross that creep here, but he is going to go hit this mineral line here as quickly as he can. Nope, he's backing out immediately. Feels like he needs him there. I don't disagree, but here comes a couple mutas. There's a lot of stalkers here for GTC. GTC got this great DPS in his army. A bunch of Colossus going to continue to warp in units here, I would assume. And it looks like IcePhyre, with a lot of commitment to these Mutalisks right now, is going to try and have to make these guys cost effective for defense, which, let me tell you, that is not easy. It looks like it is going to be a GG scenario. GTC taking down game number 1, IcePhyre. Going to get map choice in game number 2. We'll catch you guys in just a few moments. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We've got that live show match action continuing here on Metalopolis. It is GTC and IcePhyre. Game number 2, GTC did take down game number 1. Going to be in pretty nice little shape here. And IcePhyre has got to start his comeback immediately in a best of 3. That's the way it has to go. These guys are going to be on Metalopolis. It is MLG's version. You can see that it does have that supply depot down here on the low ground. Going to prevent some kinds of wall-offs there. It's not a bad little deal. As well as GTC going to be spawning as our yellow Protoss down here in cross positions from IcePhyre. Looks like IcePhyre is our purple Zerg up here at the 12 o'clock. So, so far so good. Looks like standard opener here from GTC is going to go for just one base play immediately. But a little bit of an UG from IcePhyre. I'm wondering what that's for. Oh, I forgot to 6 pool. Funny, funny. Forgot to 6 pool on Metalopolis. Too bad. That's alright. You will live, sir. GTC, though, does have that standard opener going down in pretty decent time. And your probe scout here from GTC going to be cruising around his opponent's main. Looks like he will start some attacking here in just a moment. Going to try and take out a drone if possible. Is always a fun little deal to shoot for, but it looks like he's going to evac instead. Go down here to block the expansion of IcePhyre. IcePhyre is going to be tossing down his spawning pool here. 14 pool right into 15. I assume hatchery. We'll see if that's going to be the case here in just a few moments. Back here at GTC's base, we do have that gateway gone down in great time, as well as now his gas going down. Looks like a pretty standard opener here. Nothing crazy quite yet. But still cruising around with his probe back up to the high ground here, and it looks like IcePhyre is going to go for a 16 hatchery here. And GTC is going to have to catch wind of this. We'll see if he's going to try for any shenanigans here. Probably not. Doesn't have the forge out on the field. Tossing down his cyber core, so is not going to go for any shenanigans quite yet. But second gas going down right around the 3-minute mark there. Going to mean probably a 1-gate or a 3-gate expand from GTC with heavy sentries early game. So I like this play. Good standard play versus Protoss, or versus Terran. I'm sorry, not Terran. How about Zerg? See if we can get it right for a change. And it looks like GTC trying to be a hero here with his probe. Going to take out this hatchery. No, not quite going to happen. Not quite, but he is going to cruise back up here to the high ground. Needs to see this gas going down. Finally, the gas here for IcePhyre. It is relatively late, considering. But indeed, there it is. We are going to have some gas. Probably going to get that metabolic speed boost out here fairly shortly. And saturation of that gas going down right away. Looks like we've got our queen out on the field. No creep spread quite yet from anybody. Second queen on the way currently. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Back here at GTC's base, we do have Chrono Boost going down on that Warp Gate technology. Robotics facility has gone down, so it looks like a 3-gate Robo here instead. That's just not bad play, and he can expand off this too with not much trouble. Looks like GTC going to work on this supply depot here for just a moment. Not tons, but a little bit. Trying to kill the Terran player on this map. Looks like GTC does have a pretty solid economy. Let's just check and see what it looks like comparatively. 22 probes to 21 drones, giving GTC a slight, if not by very much, advantage. Looks like IcePhyre, though, will be droning up here fairly heavy now. Looks like I got 27 drones. He's starting to surpass his opponent here very, very quickly. And has more drones in production, as well as some links. Now going to be grabbing a couple links out on the field. He does have that metabolic speed boost on the way. Appears to be a little bit over a third of the way done, and still just the 1 gas, but notice he is mining it. So probably going to see some tech out of him here in just a few moments. Maybe banelings, maybe roaches, could be one or the other. We'll see which one it is going to be, but it looks like we're going for a lair here, so I don't know. Could be just about anything, but Not quite enough gas for any serious lair tech, but you never know what he's going to shoot for. Could be anything. It is IcePhyre we're talking about here, and he is quite the wild card. Do have that second gateway finally going down. Looks like some more pylons as well. And Chrono boosting out now a Warp Prism. So probably going to see a drop here from GTC. An Immortal drop, potentially. Can be very, very effective, and then warp in some Zealots behind. Indeed, that looks like exactly what it's going to be here. Looks like IcePhyre is scouting this, however. Oh, look at that. Great scout there from IcePhyre. GTC is completely caught red-handed there. Going to be going for that drop regardless. It looks like he is still cruising out across the map here. Notice we do have lair tech finally completing. And more gas has gone down. However, none of them are mining quite yet, but 3 gas indeed. Followed by spine crawlers. Spine crawlers are on the way. Here comes your drop. Looks like 2 stalkers, 1 immortal. Probably going to see a warp in of zealots here in just a moment. Spine crawler not quite going to happen there. And a bunch of links cruising out on the field here. Looks like they will be able to clean this up if GTC is not careful. And now a lot of queens as well. GTC will be evacuating this forward position. Looks like that drop, because of that scouting, phenomenal intel there for IcePhyre. It's going to put IcePhyre way ahead right now. Especially considering that GTC is on 1 base here at 8.5 minutes in. Is not where you want to be. He should have been expanding behind this. Or even in front of it, my goodness. But looks like he's going to go for more of an all-in type play. He's got a whole bunch of Immortals now cruising out onto the field, and a 4th gate going down, so his warp-ins should be a little bit quicker potentially, but oh man, I just disagree with 1 base play like this. And notice that IcePhyre is going to be grabbing his 3rd, so IcePhyre is going to be in phenomenal position here economically. Notice he does have that 44 drones to 25 probes of GTC. GTC, however, has not really much need for any extra probes at this point since he is just on 1 base. Got a pretty decent little army here. Not too bad at all, but 3 Immortals will be great, great damage versus the buildings. However, versus this many Lings, he's not going to have a super fun time. Looks like a little bit more dropping going down here for GTC. Could drop these guys on the high ground there. It's not a bad little play. Try and snipe that queen. But does have him in position. Looks like a couple warp-ins will go down, and it is going to be Zealots. Probably going to start gearing up for his big attack. I mean, you can't wait too long if you're just going to go 1 base all in. Going to deny the 3rd here of IcePhyre, and now it's about time for him to cruise down to the low ground. Here comes the rest of his reinforcements. Looks like that was absolutely scouted here by IcePhyre. IcePhyre was holding that Zelnaga tower the entire time. Here comes your mutas. Is there going to be enough AA here? Doesn't quite look like, I don't know, well, with those sentries he should be okay. IcePhyre producing a lot of roaches now, and a bunch of lings. Looks like GTC going to be warping in some more units. However, they are stuck back in his base because he did lose that Warp Prism. And here comes your main attack. IcePhyre going to be obliterating these AA, and that is going to give these guys free reign here. And there's your GG from GTC. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. Game number 3 will be headed your way here momentarily. The tiebreaker, the ace match. Should be fun stuff. Catch you guys then. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We do have live show match action coming at you. It is the ace match here. The last one in this best of 3 between IcePhyre and GTC. Gonna be fireworks here, I would assume. GTC wants to take this one down for sure. Did win game number 1, losing game number 2 to IcePhyre's great defense. But 1 base play, man, I tell you what, I disagree with 1 base play as Protoss. I think that I mean, unless you can keep your Zerg opponents on 1 base themselves, then 1 base play tends to not be very effective at all anymore in this metagame these days. So, good stuff though. GTC is going to be spawning as our yellow Protoss up here in the top left-hand corner. In the top right, it is IcePhyre spawning as our purple Zerg. Both these guys sticking with their colors. Tied up, and looks like a Forge Fast Expand going to go down for GTC. IcePhyre is going to rush lair apparently just for Overseers. Thank you, GTC is shouting out for alt gaming, where all of your dreams, wildest dreams, do come true. IcePhyre is going to deny warp gates. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, lair tech rush is what he's called. Hopefully he will go for it. I would hate to be disappointed. That IcePhyre is going to be scouted here by GTC in fairly decent time. IcePhyre, in the meantime, sending out his Shen the Overlord to the correct location. Lucky him. We'll be scouting at GTC's base here momentarily. I assume we're going to see the Nexus go down first. Based on what he's seen, he sees that spawning pool is not super early from IcePhyre, so he could probably feel safe to go ahead and take his Nexus. Oh, no, he doesn't. Forge first, it appears. So Forge first from GTC. He says this game is already over. What the heck? I hope not. IcePhyre's like, sweet, make it easy on me. IcePhyre will be going for an expansion here in just a moment. Does have his spawning pool about to complete. And there goes his extractor as well as his expansion going down in fairly decent time. IcePhyre going to be gearing up for solid 2-base play. Back here at GTC's base, it is Nexus going down 3 minutes in. It's not too bad, not too late at all. When you do, however, when you scout those Zerg opponents getting their standard timings on that spawning pool like that, you can feel a little bit more comfortable. You can go ahead and toss down your Nexus, then toss down your Forge, and then toss down your cannon shortly thereafter. Can be just fine, but it looks like he should be in okay shape regardless here. Got that Nexus down in okay time, and we're going to see some gateways going down now for GTC. Beautiful. Good little wall off going down here. Looks like he's going to try and... Is that tight? Can't tell, but it doesn't appear to be. I think this probe can make it back through. However, your photon cannon is complete. Looks like IcePhyre going to cruise up here to the high ground for just a half a second there. Does see the photon cannon, knows to be careful here, but look, good scouting from his Overlord will reveal what else is being done at this wall, and so he knows to not commit too very many Zerglings to this attack early on in the game. Notice he's just droning up at this point, going to be grabbing his... Wow. He's grabbing his lair here at 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes in. So maybe he was not kidding. It may very well be quick little overseers here, and it's gonna stall his opponent from getting that, getting his warp gate technology. Wouldn't that be very interesting? Looks like this wall off though for GTC should be okay for now. Needs to, if he's going to grab his cyber core, he needs to do it pretty much right now, and right here next to this photon cannon would be a great place to put it, just in case IcePhyre is serious about trying to deny the cyber core warp gate technology. Looks like your second here for IcePhyre is saturated in a pretty big way. Units tab will show that he is only at 19 drones, however, to GTC's 26 probes, so GTC should be in pretty decent shape for just a little while, but looks like a couple Lings now parking themselves in front of this base. We don't have any Baneling tech or anything like that. IcePhyre is currently just droning up like crazy. Another photon cannon going down, so he is going to have a pretty decent little wall off. But we still have great scouting here from IcePhyre. And there goes your cyber core. It is going to go right for that warp gate technology. Work on that there as quickly as possible. Looks like your zealots might just hold this map control for just a little while yet. Photon cannon completing. Looks like he's going to get a couple shots off on this Overlord. Not enough to kill him, however. Unfortunate it is. Overseer is going to complete here in just a few moments. Probably going to see him cruise in here and toss down. What's his spell called? Contaminate. He's going to contaminate this building. Be very, very interesting to see indeed. Looks like a couple more gateways going down here for GTC. It's time for him to beef up that unit production capability. So far, so good. He appears to be in phenomenal economic position. Unit stab shows that the economy does slightly favor GTC, not by very much, however. These zealots now are going to go for an attack. Looks like it's a little bit late for that, however. Just a couple Lings here and some queens. 2 zealots, though, should be able to get cleaned up here fairly quickly, but they do pick off a couple of Zerglings already. Going to try and snipe this queen's not a bad little play, if possible. Not going to happen. They just picked off a couple Lings, so I'd say a little bit less than effective there, but all in all, I mean, he's doing just fine. Contaminate? 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 Too late. Warp gate technology is complete. Looks like IcePhyre is going to have to evac this position. These overseers not getting their job done. We've got more gateways on the way. Warp gates, I should say. Yeah, Contaminate costs 125 energy. Interesting stuff. It's very expensive. You really got to rush it if you're going to stop warp gate technology. Oh, IcePhyre not in bad position here, though. He's got 68 supply to 53, so a little bit ahead there. Units tab shows that he is at 44 drones now to 41, so he's still in pretty decent position. Contaminate going down on the Forge. That's interesting. Forge is currently contaminated. And a good deal of units out on the field now for GTC, however. He's getting a nice little unit composition together here. He's got a couple of sentries. Probably going to have some serious force fielding available to him when the time comes. But a third going down here for IcePhyre in great time. And a bunch of mutas now out on the field. IcePhyre is about to commence harassment of the mineral lines. GTC now with a whole bunch more gateways is going to have to start backing out quickly with this army. Either that or go for a base trade here. Looks like IcePhyre going to pick up a lot of kills. Look at these guys disappearing. Not fun at all. Going to snipe quite a few of these guys. Look at this, GTC pulling all of his probes. Looks like he is going to go for a base race, if at all possible. How very interesting. I heard some more warp-ins. Where are they? Oh, there they were. Cool, warping in, and here comes your main attack. GTC trying to go for this base trade here. Hopefully he's going to be successful. Looks like IcePhyre might get the better of him, taking out all of his warp gates there except for this one. And GTC is way behind in the supply count right now. IcePhyre still has one solid mining base up at his main, but this one gets taken out there fairly quickly. Looks like all of these drones are going to go down here in just a moment. And now up to the high ground. GTC does have a fairly substantial army, and with all those probes mixed in, he could be fairly scary here. A lot of spine crawlers going down, but here comes your main defense from IcePhyre, and it just happens to be mutas. Mutas may not be the best choice here, obviously. It's against a whole bunch of stalkers. But look at this. GTC's army starting to dwindle here. And it looks like IcePhyre is going to hold on in a very, very big way. IcePhyre still doing a little bit of mining. Looks like he is going to go ahead and toss these guys back to that position. And there's your GG from GTC. IcePhyre taking it down, making Team Alt proud. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. Don't alt tab, always alt Starcraft to catch you guys in our next show match.